One, the show where we get to join by our esteemed guest, Josh North, and he will be lending us his advice and expertise for this week's Week 3 against the spread picks. I'm your host, Jake. We'll be covering all 16 games this week. The first 2 weeks of the year, we'll quickly go back to how I was doing. Maybe over here. No, that's this week's. Never mind. Bear with me, folks. This is a live show. That's not it. There we go. All right. Last week, week 2, we went 8-7. We got a big push in the Bengals game, backdoor push. Everything else, can't really complain as long as we're staying green here. That's all that matters as far as I'm concerned. Week 1, we went 9-7, so we're at a total of 17-14-1. Josh has not been doing the picks on this format, so we don't need to go through his picks. However, if you do want to follow his Twitter for his Sunday slate, his Sunday card, feel free to at JCX North, I believe is the username. Anyways, we're gonna get right to it here. Josh, any words before we get started here?
No, I'm tired, so we can.
Let's keep this going. All right, Thursday night, we're at Houston, Carolina, -7 as a road favorite. If Tyrod Taylor's in this game, I have a little different feeling. However, they're throwing the rookie out there from Stanford. Don't know his name. Don't care. Carolina's looked very impressive thus far. I think this is where Carolina starts throwing the hammer down. They're gonna win this pretty handily, as far as I'm concerned. I got them -7.5. What say you, Josh?
Yeah, I mean it's a terrible game.
Yep.
You shouldn't. I mean, nobody should be betting this game unless you're just, I don't know, degenerate.
Well, Thursday night. I mean,
Yeah,
it'll get some action.
Carolina's getting hammered by the public right now, so the line's going to continue to climb. I mean, if I'm going to bet on it, I'm going to bet Houston, but I'm not going to bet this game. I'm planning on taking Carolina and Survivor this week.
Okay.
I feel like I'm going to chicken out on Thursday, though. This is not the type of game that I normally would take for a Survivor game. It's a road game, it's a Thursday night game, and it's a Sam Darnold game. And, he hasn't missed any games due to any strange illnesses yet, but it could happen. I'm not. If I had to take a side, I'd take Houston. But it's
okay. Houston. This is gun to your head. You got to do it. I know you hate doing it, but all right. You got Houston +7.5. All right. Moving on. The first 1:00 game here. We've got Washington at Buffalo. Big number. I don't think this number is as big anymore. However, I did find it at +9. I will be going with the Washington football team +9 at Buffalo. I'm not a fan of Heineke, but I really like that defense. I think they're somewhat similar to the Steelers as far as defensive talent, and hoping that something similar also happens. I'm not saying they're going to win. I would not have money line on this, but I think they cover. Big number, so we're going Washington football team.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen 9 anywhere. That would be... God, that is a huge number. It's just a gross game. I feel pretty good about Buffalo in this game. I don't necessarily like the way Washington's looked thus far. I feel like they've looked pretty rough. I mean, granted, Daniel Jones has a knack for killing the Washington football team, but I don't know, it didn't look great. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess gun to my head, I'd have to take the 9 points, but anything less than that, I mean, if it's 7.5, 7 come kickoff.
That's what it's looking like. Yeah, that's what it's looking like. All right. We're gonna give you Washington +9. Moving on, Chicago at Cleveland. Mr. Fields' first start on the road against it's a pretty good defense. Not incredible, but pretty solid. We got the Bears +7.5 here for our purposes. Not sure what the line is now. I'm on the Bears +7.5. I don't know what Baker's looking like. I also not entirely sure what to expect from Mr. Fields. I do want to say that he's going to be able to put up some points, though. At least keep it close. I I probably I if it goes any lower, obviously I think it will. I or higher, excuse me. If it goes up to 8.5, I'm really liking Chicago there, or if that makes any sense, maybe or um, yeah, obviously if it goes higher, I like Chicago. I don't know what I'm saying. Whoever would be beneficial for Cleveland to be getting a better number there. I'm in on Cleveland there, just for the sheer factor that you have the rookie QB. But I think everyone is excited for this one. Justin Fields finally gets the start. He did okay against Cincinnati. Just a massive first down at the end of the game there to seal it. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Cleveland, I think, is a much better team. They're at home. They're coming off of a solid win against Houston. Um, but I'm gonna side with the Bears, big number against I think what it is like a decent, pretty solid defense, solid pass rush. We'll see if Baker has any time.
Yeah, I mean, overall, I'm largely with you. I mean, Chicago's getting about 2 points of value on this game. If you're betting this game at all, you're taking Chicago. You're not betting Cleveland.
Right.
I don't, especially at 7.5. That's a very bad number for Cleveland. It's an incredibly bad number for Cleveland. I mean, this game reminds me, man. I've seen Cleveland in so many spots like this already. It's just every year they fuck this one up. So I think you got to take Chicago in the spread. I think Cleveland, thus far, aside from the first half against Kansas City, has looked pretty mediocre. Baker has not impressed me yet. I feel bad. I've always been hard on him, but I mean, he turned it around a lot late last year, I thought, and these last couple games. I mean, against Houston, I don't know. I guess they just kind of reined in the playbook a little bit after that turnover. And I think and Landry's injury, so they might have been a little shell shocked by Houston actually being close. So we'll see what they look like in this game. I mean, they should still be able to run it down their throats. Chicago's run defense does not impress me at all. Their back seven is still pretty strong, I think, but I would definitely take the points here. And I don't care who the quarterback is. It doesn't matter to me. I'm hoping Fields can show up though. He's kind of been my plant my flag guy, so I
Sure.
take Chicago +7.5.
Ravens at Detroit. I think it was mentioned earlier in our previous show by a man named Tyler Sabo that Baltimore, after an emotional win against the Kansas City Chiefs, going to the Dome in Detroit, gonna have a little hangover. I have a feeling Detroit's a little better than what everyone's been giving them
Oh wow.
credit for. As far as my season-long picks, it certainly doesn't look good. I have a feeling they're going to win some games this year. Sadly, I think their offensive line is as impressive a unit as I've seen. Detroit is who I'm referring to here, and Ravens defense really has not been very good thus far. Um, I say Detroit +8.5, huge number again. They looked very impressive against the Packers first half last week, and just couldn't keep it going. They had a chance for a backdoor cover there, but anyways, I like Detroit +8.5.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait on this game. I also like the home dog. Uh, that being said, though, if this line, which it won't, there's no reason it would, but there is some indication that the line might shrink. If it
Yeah,
does get below, or if it does get around 7, I might have to consider Baltimore.
Sure.
Historically, Lamar kills bad teams. I mean, he just kills them. I mean, he puts them in an oven, and just fucking bakes them every single game. I mean, he's got a solid sample size at this point of just walking into bad teams' place, just destroying them. So I don't know. I don't really like this game from Baltimore side. I'm hoping the line just continues to climb. We get to 10. Some people just start betting Baltimore because they just beat Kansas City on national television. But if it gets to 10, I'm taking Detroit. So I'd probably take him at 9. I think that's
That'd be
a fair
awesome.
bet.
Yeah, for
Maybe
sure.
even at 8.5. Yeah, I'll take 8.5. Screw it. Yeah, I'll take
Okay, we'll
dogs.
keep it.
Take all the dogs.
Indy at Tennessee. Tennessee also coming off another emotional win at Seattle. Um, Looked a lot more impressive than Week 1 against Arizona. Julio Jones caught some passes. That was nice to see. Indy 0-2. Nothing's a must-win in Week 3, but this one would be pretty big to pull off. 0-3 would be a rough start for the Colts, and they're over-under total win total. However, we're talking about the spread here, and I've got Tennessee -5. Mr. 2 sprained ankles is going to be rolling out there, it looks like, and I like Tennessee to get back on track at home. We'll see. We'll see if that offense can keep it rolling. Derrick Henry. I know Indy's run defense is pretty strong, pretty stout. Not many people can do much against the big hoss, Derrick Henry, and we got Tennessee -5. It's like it's deceptive. That number is pretty big. I know the Colts are a very solid defensive team by a lot of accounts. They usually stay in these games until the end, but just because it's the home team here, I'm gonna go with Tennessee.
Yeah, I bet this game uh, Tuesday morning. I was drinking my coffee. I took the Titans at 5. I'm expecting it to climb to 6.
Okay.
I'm thinking generally the Titans just kind of shat the bed against the Cardinals. Winning in Seattle is not easy.
No.
The spread was not quite high enough for me to bet it. I was a little concerned after watching them get just steamrolled by Arizona, but
Right.
clearly that's more of a just didn't really show up first game of the season. I'm
And
expecting them
Arizona potentially looking pretty strong. Yeah.
maybe
Who knows?
I'll have thoughts on that later. But the Colts division game. They're playing the Jets next week. This isn't any indication of a trap game. The Colts are in trouble. I mean, they should have won one of those games. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know how they covered against the Rams. It was lucky, but they are in trouble. Their offensive line is just rotating bodies in and out. Wentz, I don't think looks good, even with his ankles not being sprained concurrently. I'm not entirely sure what he's doing. They're gonna regret making that trade. I mean, if they haven't already. I mean, he's just got awful, and they can't run the ball anymore. So it's scary in Indy. I think they kind of need this one, but I'm taking the Titans.
Yep.
It's a mismatch on paper, and I can't ignore that line should be, I think, 6.5.
Potentially the marquee matchup for this 1 o'clock slate. We got LA, the Chargers, um, Superchargers going to Kansas City, -6.5. That Dallas Chargers game, Chargers had so many opportunities to pull away. Definitely get a few more scores. Definitely should have won. Combination of refereeing, and just bad luck kept the Dallas in it, and Dallas ended up squeaking it out at the end. Kansas City coming off I mean, not a terrible loss to Baltimore. Baltimore did not look good in Week 1, so you would have thought that Kansas City probably could have handled their business. They scored plenty of points, but just not at the end when it mattered. Big turnover from the law firm Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Not don't know too many people named Hilaire, but I just want to call him the law firm. I like Kansas City bouncing back here, -6.5. Don't need to get too much into it. Kansas City's excellent. LA, I'm low on this team. I feel like I'm one of the only ones that are though. They really haven't shown too much to like doubt so far. Um, they had a solid performance week 1 against Washington. Um, I mean, I like Dallas, so that's not a terrible loss in my book. But I mean, at home with all those opportunities, probably should came away with a win. But I like Kansas City for obvious reasons. Also like Tyreek Hill big time in this game. Big bounce
Yeah,
back.
I mean, this number is a legacy number. This is Andy Reid off a loss at home against the Chargers. I mean, his numbers are. I can't remember the last time. I mean, hell, it might have been last year. I was barely paying attention last year, but Andy Reid historically has covered against the Chargers at home, and it's been ugly. I'm looking right now. Let's see. Oh yeah, they lost at home last year. Okay, well, it was week 17, and
In week
at home they didn't
17.
play. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna pay any attention to that. So anytime that Andy Reid is trying to coach a football game, his numbers against the Chargers are stupid. But I'm taking the Chargers here. That number is inflated. That
after
number
all
is
that,
inflated.
big
Oh yeah,
inflated number there. All right.
right, you gotta take the Chargers here. It's an inflated number. Everybody just watched the Chargers pull a classic Chargers and just completely shit the bed against the Cowboys. I mean, it was brutal. I was not happy. I can't. There were two games that irritated me the most last week. I mean, I got obliterated last week, and it was this one, and then I had to watch the Eagles before that. Just inexplicably not score 3 points through a half, where they should have scored at least 21. I mean, they just were just screwing around. 91-yard pass and then no points. I don't know what was happening. They should have beat San Francisco, I think, by 20, and they ended up just getting dominated on offense. So I can't emphasize enough how angry I was before I watched the Chargers game, and that didn't help. But I'm taking the Chargers plus 6.5. I've already bet the game. I'm expecting that line to shrink, but I could be wrong. I mean, the public hammers the Chiefs. I mean, if they hammer the Chiefs and the line gets to 7, I'm going to bet it at 7. I'm going to bet it again at 7.5. If that number, I love this number. It's inflated.
Are we, or is it? I have Houston plus 7.5 for you, and then this one differing. Is there another one thus far that we haven't been on the same page here?
I don't think so.
Okay, moving on then. Saints at New England. I'm not going to get too invested in this one. I like New England's front seven. I think the Saints kind of came back down to earth. They also had a ton of injuries going into the game last week where they got drubbed. I like New England to just at home, and I like them to cover. So we'll just go New England -2.5. What say you?
I'd also take the Pats at anything less than 3 if I can get there. My book does not have it at 2.5 yet, but I'll wait. It looks like it's shrinking everywhere, so I'm
Yeah,
not overly concerned. I also, it's an ugly game. I think
yeah,
it's just a weird matchup. I don't like it. The Saints last week were definitely overvalued. 3.5 points favorites on the road. It's just stupid, but
when you do that to Aaron Rodgers at a neutral site, people tend to
yeah,
take notice.
I know. It's just like, yeah,
I think it's more fluky than anything, obviously, but
yeah.
um,
I mean, that happens, but
yeah,
yeah, I'm with you on the Patriots. I don't really have much of a take. I mean, their team's fine, but I don't know that New Orleans is anything better than fine. Both of them are pretty meh to me. I think that just the short home favorite. You have to play the short home favorite if it's anything less than 3. I could
I
see
like it.
shrinking it too, though.
All right, Atlanta at New York, another rough one. Not going to be spending much time watching this game. They are coming. New York is coming off of a few more days rest. Atlanta is doing Atlanta things once again, and I've got the Giants here, home favorite. -3.
Yeah, I mean, if it's more than 3, I'm gonna bet the Falcons because I have to. But that's a corner TV game. I don't want to watch or bet on that game. But
I
it's
feel
just
it.
like I don't find Daniel Jones.
He
God.
did fine against Washington.
I mean, he did fine until he didn't. But you know, we'll see. I don't know. I'm feeling pretty down about my Giants over bet right now. But it doesn't matter. I would have to bet the Falcons here. So I'd probably take them in that
I think
spot.
this is the renaissance of Saquon. I think Saquon pops off here.
Yeah, I think he's fine. I think he just needs to get his wheels under him, and it's only a matter of time. I don't expect him to be bad.
I'll plug
Their
the
offensive line, if anything,
yeah.
would be a problem. But
I'll plug the other show real quick again. Sabo also made a prop bet for Saquon this week. His analysis was pretty spot on. He had like a 50% usage rate week 1, or what's not it's not the usage rate, but anyways, touched them all about 50% of the time. And last week on 3 days rest, he touched it like 90% of the time. So I have a feeling they're going to be getting the bell cow back, and he's gonna be getting plenty of touches here. So hopefully
that'd be nice.
that talent works out if you're a fantasy owner for Mr. Barkley. All right, next game. Uh, Bengals at Pittsburgh. Uh, I've got Cincinnati +3.5. The number could be growing, could be shrinking. Um, with news of Big Ben potentially having a pec injury, that's probably gonna move the line a little closer.
Big
Um,
Ben hurt his boob.
yep.
I didn't know
Um,
that. It's
there
crazy.
was who knows, maybe you like Ben more when he's playing injured. But I was disappointed. Is not the best word, but was definitely not happy with how the Bengals performed last week. Against a team that I thought was beatable. Defense has been playing about as well as I could have hoped. The offense, I don't think, has hit its stride yet. Um, Talks of them not using the deep ball, going deep quite soon enough. Hopefully, they open it up against this team. I don't know what the injury situation is this week. I know T.J. Watt was out last week. Devin Bush was out. A lot of big names out. If those guys don't play, I really like this number. If they do play, then I'm not feeling the greatest. I'm banking
Oh,
on some injuries here.
you
Um,
take the Bengals. I
so,
don't care what
but I'm
the
going. I'm
game.
going Cincinnati +3.5.
You take the Bengals. You take the Bengals, and you sit there with your little pina colada, and you drink it on your couch, and you just rake in the dough. The Bengals are the play here. I've already bet the Bengals. Um, I was pretty sad. Well, okay, no, sad's not the right word. I was looking, so I told myself I was going to stop betting going into the Sunday night game. I wanted to bet Baltimore bad. I really did. But I had already got swapped on home dogs, so I was just
Sure.
like, I'm done. But I was looking ahead because, you can't, fool me once, shame on me, but can't shoot the shooter. You take Bengals, and I saw 5.5. I tried to bet it. I couldn't. My bet online froze. So I was like, okay, cool. I log back in, it's 4.5. So I'm like, I don't know what just happened here, but I bet 4.5, and that
Okay.
went through. So I've got a good number on the Bengals.
I
3, I
did
think,
see
is a good
it.
number on
I
the
did see
Bengals.
it pretty high.
Yeah, it's been bet down. The sharps have hammered it. It's getting about 80% of the money, despite getting, I think, about, I can't remember. It's a low. It's low. Public is taking Pittsburgh because they're stupid, but it's a Bengals play here. I mean, it's they've already shown that they can pressure Ben. They did it last year, albeit different team, but I expect their defense to play well, and I think Mixon is going to be a difference maker in this one. If Burrow can limit the turnovers and they can, I don't know, hire an extra offensive lineman, I'm not sure what the heck they're doing over there, but I'm
Interior
taking the
is
Bengals.
hurting.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm taking the Bengals. Give me the
Yep.
Bengals. Sorry.
Arizona at Jacksonville. Won't be watching. Arizona -7.
I'd have to take the Jaguars, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's just it's yeah. Urban Meyer doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. He needs to quit now.
But he knows how to cover. apparently.
Does he?
Well, we'll see. Time will tell. The New York
0-2 against
Jets.
the spread so far. That's just a big number against the
It
Cardinals.
is. It is.
I don't
I
actually. Sorry, what were you saying?
I like Arizona. I mean, I bet they're over win total. Um, I've got I've got a few of these guys on fantasy teams. I'm all in on the Cardinals this year thus far, proving me right, albeit against not world beaters. Potentially Tennessee might be one of their most impressive wins this year. Who knows how Tennessee ends up doing, but I don't think Minnesota's going to be doing anything. Um, anyways, don't I mean it's just a mess over there in Jacksonville.
Agree. Uh,
I just don't
I'm
think the
more
number is big
convinced
enough.
on Arizona's defense being after last week. That was scary.
I think
They should have lost.
Minnesota's got like say what you will about Kirk Cousins. He puts up numbers.
Sure.
He might not win, but he'll put up the numbers. They'll move the ball. They've got weapons. No tight ends this year, but they don't really need it. And I think Minnesota's offense is outstanding.
Yeah, I agree. I don't have a problem with Minnesota's offense. It's just it looked a little scary at home, and I feel like the spot that we were talking about here, one big win, another one coming off a, you know, thank God win for at home. I don't. Did you see
The kick?
that clip of the Vikings announcer?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you need
I
to
need
look
to
that
see
up.
it.
It's egregious. That poor guy. I feel so bad for
Oh
him.
no.
The spot you're in here is after that you got a road game against a really bad team. So like you're laying 7+ points. Most books I'm seeing it's got a 7.5, 8. But
Okay.
I'm gonna wait and see what happens. I'm gonna have to bet the stupid Jaguars, and I hate it. But like the Cardinals next week after that they play the Rams. I mean this has got trap game written all over it. You take the underdog, and
Money line?
no, I
Okay.
don't think. Nah, I don't know
Sprinkle it.
if it gets big enough. It has to be big enough. I mean, it's a risk utility balancing. That's
Sure.
all it is. But
Sure.
I don't know. If you bet money line, you're putting like a ham sandwich on it. You're not doing much of anything else. You just want to get 5 ham sandwiches for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I'll hold my nose and take Jacksonville, but I don't want to. Anywho, let's get to the next stupid game.
Jets at my eliminator pick this week here. Denver Broncos plus
Um,
11. Uh, I do have them winning the eliminator here, but or not winning the eliminator, but winning this game. But I have Jets covering.
okay.
I have Jets covering. Bounce back game. They're not going to let. I know Denver's defense is stout. I don't think Mr. Wilson is going to be turning the ball over as much as he was last week. Thus, staying in this game and covering. So I love Denver. I honestly probably take Denver 10. If Denver's minus 10, I probably take Denver here. 11, I feel like just just too much. I'm gonna hold my nose game. I know they're not at home. I know they're traveling, but I feel like New York's gonna cover. So that's where we're at.
I I mean, you take the big number here, so I would do the same thing. I'm staying away. I might bet on it for some emotional hedging because I can't imagine a worse fate right now than losing to the New York Jets at the moment. I hate Zach Wilson so much. I just can't. It's very emotional. I find Zach Wilson repulsive.
That guy he throws a great ball in shorts though. He really does. You got to give him that.
I don't understand. I really don't understand the evaluation. I don't,
I
and
I mean he could have beat Coastal Carolina last year, so I mean
he is. I mean, the pro cops were Johnny Manziel. Where is he?
I
He's watching the show.
think he's got a better arm than Johnny. He's got a
Sure,
I
he's
so
been
I
playing football the last few years. I'd hope so. Johnny's on the couch. My God, like I don't get it. I never understood the evaluation. It's costing my boy money. Hell, it's costing Trey Lance money. Hell, it's costing Mac Jones money because, I mean, it's a horrible eval. He's trash. I mean, I'm just gonna be. I'm shitting on him right now, and next thing you know, he's going to beat my Broncos. But
He better
I
not.
mean, you got to bet the big number. It doesn't
All
really
right,
matter. Back.
we'll keep it going here. Miami at Vegas. Uh,
Give me the Dolphins.
I don't think Tua's playing. Jacoby
I don't
Brissett
care.
plus
It's fine.
3.5 at
Yeah.
Vegas. Emotional win for Vegas, beating the vaunted Pittsburgh Steelers at Pittsburgh. Give me Vegas. You can take the Dolphins. Um,
Give me the Dolphins. That's nuts.
so
That's a crazy line.
I I mean, what they've done thus far, I don't think it's that crazy. I'm obviously, if we had to play roles here, if we're role playing here, I'm the public and you're the sharp, and I'm typically staying on this bandwagon here. I follow all the I bite on all of these storylines. I'm the one who's not really
The
vibing with
square.
the yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Right.
So I thus far it's got me over 500. We'll see what happens. Anyways, likewise to from Vegas. Um, the
I mean,
pass
I don't
rush.
have. It's just a high one. I don't hate. I don't really necessarily hate
It could be
the
higher.
Rams
It
here.
probably is higher. I don't know. Right now, I feel like it's only going to grow. Minus 3.5 doesn't feel like a ton to me. I think they can win this by a touchdown. Miami looked terrible last week,
Yeah.
and I understand that Tua was out, but I mean, without I don't think it's that big of a difference with Brissett in as opposed to Tua, but I think Vegas is showing people that there's someone to be trifled with. Give me the Raiders, and I'll give you the
Yeah.
Dolphins.
I mean, I don't. I mean, the Raiders. Good start. Good for them. John Gruden's still coaching that team, and you know, I don't know. I'm before last week happened. Uh, Miami was going to be favored in this game, and for good reason. I think Miami's a good team. But it's gonna be tough for them to go to the West Coast and win this game. But I don't know. I like Miami at 3.5. I think it's a good number. So see
All
what
right,
happens.
game of the week probably. Tampa at the Rams. I'm seeing Bucks 1.5 a lot of places. We've got it at 1 for our purposes. Basically, probably could end up being a pick 'em potentially if the Rams start getting hammered. Um, but give me Tampa Bay, um, and for what I hope is going to be an absolute slugfest, just a barn burner, and uh, I like LA a lot. I like the Rams. I think these are. I think this. I mean, I'm. It's not saying much, but this probably is going to be your NFC um, championship game right here. After week 2, I think both these teams are going to be as strong as any contender. And we'll go with Tampa winning this first one here. We'll see what happens next time they meet, if they meet again.
I don't hate it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with taking Tom Brady as a short favorite. Um, I find Tampa Bay to be one-dimensional. I think the Rams are going to win this game, and I'm betting Rams money line at some point.
Probably do it
Whether or
now.
not that's, huh?
You probably do it soon, sooner rather than
I
later.
could. I could. Let's see. This morning it was plus 106. I'm going to keep watching it
Yeah.
for the time being. I mean, if it shrinks, it shrinks. It doesn't matter. It's still gonna be plus something. Yeah, it's the same. Hasn't moved at all yet. I like what the Rams have. I think they're a balanced team, and I think Matt Stafford is a difference maker. Um, I don't know what to expect of Tampa Bay's run game at the moment. Does it matter? Probably not. But they look pretty one-dimensional so far. Um, I'm kind of surprised they weren't able to run the ball against Atlanta. Um, Obviously, they didn't necessarily have to,
Did
but
they
people
have
kind
to
of
though?
forget.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if they
Well,
like.
it was a what was it?
It got close.
Yeah, it was a 3-point game before
2 pick sixes.
Yeah, back-to-back pick sixes. Like what? That's another game. It was just another huge implosion that cost me money. I was just, oh man, I was dancing around, cracking some brews open,
I had
thinking,
Tampa last
okay,
weekend eliminator,
give
so I
me
was
the dirty
sweating.
birds. And
I
I
was
was
sweating.
not happy with what I saw there, but whatever. Dirty birds can eat shit. I take the Rams here though. They're good. So we can move on to the next one if you want.
Seattle at Minnesota. I got the Squeal Hawks minus 1.5. We mentioned Minnesota briefly and some of our other picks. They have the ability to move the ball. I don't think Seattle's really going to stop them from moving the ball. I just think in the dome, Mr. Wilson and his weapons are going to have a field day. I like usually betting on Russell Wilson. This number is not egregious. Minnesota kind of has to win this, so I get that. But I'm going to go Seattle minus 1.5. What are you thinking?
Oh, I mean, this is whether or not it's going to work out. This is a layup bet for sure. This is Vikings in the dome all day. I mean, this spot has cashed so many times historically.
Okay.
Maybe this Vikings team is bad, maybe, but I mean, I don't think so. I think they played a tough game against Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati just was able to connect on a few deep balls and just played a good game. And then Cardinals, they obviously were in position to win, and
They're in position to win both games. Yeah, I mean you don't
in
fumble there.
clutch.
You don't fumble
No,
in the Cincinnati game. You're in the driver's seat. So
no, and if we both think the Cardinals are a playoff team and the Bengals are tougher than they have been over the last couple of years, I mean those are two tough games, and I think Seattle at home is just what the doctor ordered. Seattle, I mean there's no mistake about it. I mean they played a game against the Titans. It was looking great until it wasn't. All of a sudden, Derrick Henry put them on their ass. Even though Bobby Wagner was just looking like a freaking man. I don't like what I saw out of Seattle in that game at all. I mean, that's a really tough loss at home, and now they're playing in Minnesota, tough environment. And I don't think it's a bad team either. I mean, we were just talking about them, but if Dalvin Cook's playing, which I mean, he's got a little bit of an ankle bug, but if Dalvin Cook's playing, he's not very easy to tackle either. So good luck to you. I'm taking the Vikings at home.
all right. Green Bay at San Fran. I've got Mr. Rogers bringing his neighborhood to San Francisco at plus 3.5. Mildly shocked that this isn't closer. I'm with you. I don't think San Fran's win last week was very impressive. They have 2 games in a row that haven't been the most impressive. I like San Fran a lot. I picked them both against the spread both weeks. I believe I had a push week 1 with the backdoor Lions, and then the Eagles game covered, but had every opportunity not to. Defensively, not impressed. I think Rodgers got the team back on track. I'm going to go with Green Bay not to get embarrassed on the road again. So give me Green Bay plus 3.5.
Man, Aaron Rodgers. I don't know that he's ever won in San Francisco.
Is that right? Oh, I know the playoffs. Like historically, he hasn't done well.
I
Like
can't remember. I
they
mean,
got
I'm certain he's
stomped.
done it. I'm certain he's done it, but I don't remember when he did it. It's been so long. They have been repeatedly beat down by the 49ers. I
That's
mean, just
funny.
beat down. Smothered and, I mean, just brutal. Last year was not a lot of the same.
They, I
Oh, that's the
Edwards.
49ers here.
What's the running back's name? I mean, is Lance
For the
playing?
49ers?
Yeah,
Oh,
like
who cares? I think the answer is who cares. That's who.
I I care a little bit
Running back for the 49ers? A
at this
Shanahan
point.
team?
Like I
How dare you mock the Church of Shanahan? young man. How dare you? We're gonna have to talk about this.
Did he do anything last week? Did the Church of Shanahan run the ball at a impressive rate last week?
No, but back-to-back road games, East Coast, tough spot. I mean, that's why I bet the freaking Eagles. But anyway,
That's why he
I like
lost.
San Francisco here. I'm just going to wait ever so patiently for a three because I think it's going to come.
Well,
And when it
folks,
does, I'm going to hammer it.
you can.
And I honestly like from my perspective as a fan. This is a fan talking for a moment. I would love to see Aaron Rodgers just show up in California and not shit the bed. I'd love it just once. Honestly, I want the Packers to be good, but they're just. I mean, if it wasn't for Jared Goff inexplicably just being Jared Goff, I mean, honestly, Green Bay's defense didn't really do anything.
They should have. I mean, they 100% should have covered. Detroit was
Yeah,
very impressive
yeah.
in the first half. So I get it. Um,
I take the 49ers here, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, the thing is, if it goes the other way, then there's value the other way. But I think that I mean this home game is it's a tough spot. I
it's
mean,
tough.
you know,
It's tough. We'll move
but
along. Our final game of the week. We'll get to bed here soon. Philly at Dallas, NFC East. Probably every primetime game from here on out. Dallas minus 3.5. Stinky. I'm going to hold my nose. I don't trust this defense, even though their first round linebacker has become the new uh,
apparently.
pass rushing savant. Um, give me a lot of points if you like over unders. Give me the over. Um, I do like Dallas scoring more than the Eagles and hopefully scoring at least 4 more points than the Eagles in this game. So that's where I'm at.
Um, Man, that's tough. I'm probably gonna have to take the Eagles for the sake of this thing. I don't
Okay.
know. Well, it's a high number. It's higher than it should be, but it's not out of the realm of possibility either. I mean, the Cowboys have, objectively been competitive. I mean, they shouldn't have won last week. They shouldn't have competed last week, if I'm being honest. I watched that game not thinking Dallas was good, and the Chargers just kept just fucking up over and over again. Missed field goals, interceptions, touchdowns getting called back. Just the whole
Sacks
schedule.
that are egregiously called when they should not have been.
Yeah, not great. I uh I like the Eagles here again, even though they ripped my hat out last week with their nonsense against those 49ers. But I just feel like this line's too high. I think it opened way too high and it got bet down immediately. I believe it opened at 6. This number's now at 4. I have this game as a short Dallas favorite. I feel like Dallas is going to win this game by 3, and it's going to be nice and fun. But nothing about their games against uh, Tampa Bay and San Francisco. Or sorry.
Not impressed with the Tampa performance because I was. I think
Yeah,
that's kind of where my logic's coming from. If anything,
I think they lost a
it's
couple
more
people in the game, and
more
they took
telling.
advantage of a Amari Cooper matchup against some Limp weenie who showed up Thursday ready to play football. I mean, Amari Cooper was killing him. I mean, it was pretty easy. He was open all night, and Tommy almost lost that game. That's another reason why I kind of feel pretty good about eventually hedging a Tampa Bay team that's going to be one-dimensional all year. I mean, he's 44 years old, so at some point he has to die. Father Time always wins eventually. So I'm just gonna keep that in mind for later. But I take the Eagles in this game.
Noted. We differ on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games. Quickly, it's the Houston Carolina game, Chargers game. We also differ. Chargers KC, Jags, Cardinals, Jags Cardinals game, Miami, Vegas, St. Louis, Tampa, Minnesota, Seattle, San Fran, Green Bay, and Philly and Dallas to end the week. So that's where our records are going to differ. Best of luck, sir. It's an honor for you to be able to join us this week. Hopefully, we continue to get you on here. If not, we're at least going to get your picks, and we'll keep keep updating the people how we're doing
Yeah.
this week after week.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll do my best, man. It's if nothing else, if I can only spare a few minutes here and there, maybe I can just tag on at the end of your other nonsense show that you have
that'll
going
work
on.
too.
But I'll be around at some point. So,
Right on.
all right.
That that's all she wrote. Thanks for tuning in for
Yeah,
North and
dude.
One. See you
Thanks
next
for having
week.
me, man.